You have heard them for weeks on our top 30 chart, the Allergies. Who are the Allergies? Well, to answer that question, I have Roy Spencer and Adam Volson on the line with me right now. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being
What
here.
on earth? Wow, thanks for having us. Yes,
Hello.
we're on the rise. Top 20, I think, this week. Come on,
Yes.
people, get the votes in. Vote with your ears.
How are you both? And tell me, how did the Allergies get started?
We met through DJing at festivals in about 2012 or some such. We were kind of like on the same bills on different days for a crew called the 𝗗𝗻𝗺𝗲𝗿, who had a lovely big tent.
Yeah.
There you go. And they put loads of cool people on. They had lots of people come through there, all kind of Afrocentric, Latin, funk, hip hop, live music, reggae influenced beatboxers, all that kind of jazz. And always the most lively tent to play in. And we took just so many car rides shared to get to these places. We just started bonded over a love of music. And then I think I had some things on the bubble because I was starting to make some beats. And Adam had already done some stuff in the world of drum and bass. So put my kind of sampling and mixtape knowledge together with his kind of like slick production and ear for dance floor clarity. And we combined into what is now known lovingly as the Allergies.
What an intoxicating answer. That's incredible.
It was based around alcohol.
I mean,
Yes.
all of the magical moments usually involve some sort of spirit, right?
Libation.
Libation, yes, kind of gets the things flowing. Okay, so Reconcile EP is out. We have literally been playing the same 4 songs, and I'm like, when can we have more from the Allergies? When is the full length album coming out?
Good question. Adam looks at his diary just to make sure that he's got it right. So the full album release is going to be the 19th of May, and the pre-orders are going to be going up on the 21st of April. So that's the Tear the Place Up album, which the tracks that some of the tracks you've been listening to on that EP will be on that album, plus a bunch of other stuff. We've actually released 2 other singles since the Reconcile EP, believe it or not. So there's a lot out there at the moment. But yeah, can't wait for the album to drop, and we'll be touring around that time as well.
That's right. If you can't get yourself out to the UK to see us on the road with the live band, then this new album, Tear the Place Up, that's Tear the Place Up, also features these people that you would see on the road on the album. So it's like having a concert from the comfort of your own house. So if you're a fan of the saxophony of James Morton, the soulful pipes of Marietta Smith, or the raptascular MC styles of Ugly Duckling's very own Andy Cooper, then they're on the album plus more.
Where did this love of soul music and sort of rare groove, where did it come from in you? Maybe, Roy, can you answer that?
For me, it came from backwards through the prism of hip hop, which always delivers nuggets if you dig deep enough in the dirt and you find out where all these samples come from. And it's most likely to be a certain period of time from the soul and funk of these producers' parents and the local record shops across all coasts of America. So once you hear a loop and you think that's the best thing you've ever heard in hip hop, and then you realize, oh, it's Zap. It's a whole song that sounds just like that. And you're like, wow, this band. Yeah. And as a DJ, you always want to take the beat to the break and show off when you're DJing. So getting up and knowing about these records and increasing your knowledge and finding out about all the sacred texts and ultimate breaks and beats, that was part and parcel of earning your stripes. So it's been a joy to kind of keep that search for knowledge up.
And even with I made drum and bass, and even with the drum and bass I was making and listening to, I was just speeding up these funk breaks and stuff, as were the producers that I liked, and then realizing that and then slowing it all down and coming to where we're at now. But it's all based around these old records that we love.
Yeah, there's something like exhilarating when you start to connect the dots and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the drum break from this that's been looped, and then it's like, oh, that's that's like Indugu, and he's playing on this tune and he's playing on that. Like you kind of like have all these like musical crime scene lines that start happening, and it's like
blood splatters,
funk. Blood that's a tune right there.
Get the blue light out. And it's been fun to see De La Soul and people like that getting their dues on Spotify and streaming platforms, because you realize the rich collage of music they were putting together. And it wasn't just soul and funk as well. There was gold in them there hills of middle of the road and adult orientated rock and all these other things that could become hip hop in the right context. So something from the middle of nowhere from Steely Dan looped up with some cuts over it, that becomes hip hop. So that was always a great thing to do as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I think it really, kind of highlights some of the like extreme genius and creativity in hip hop, right? Like of just being able to hear something and to hear its potential mixed with something else. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And back then with producers like Prince Paul doing it with very limited sample time, perhaps pitching up records on a turntable by ear, unlike all the things we can do now to manipulate audio and extract things and pitch bend it. That guy just had the mad scientist vision, so props to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, props. Mad props. Adam, I would love for you to choose a tune that we can play for our listeners from your EP, and maybe you can tell our listeners a little bit about it.
Let's play God Walk Down off the Reconcile EP, because this is actually our biggest song to date. It's got the most plays on Spotify. Voice holding up 6, so I'm going to say 6 million plays.
Wow, 6 million plays.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of pennies. Like
that's a lot of time me pressing play back here on my laptop.
But this came off of our first ever album, I believe. We sort of re-released this and put it on that EP just because it felt like a good fit. It was like a bluesy song and it was meant to be a bluesy EP. And maybe some of our newer fans haven't heard that first album. So this is God Walk Down by the Allergies.